What ho everybody, Ian here with another model railway construction video. This week we are working on the circular corrugated iron goods shed for the Gauge Guild exhibition layout that we did the drawing last week, and now we are going to work on the model. And the first thing with it is it's circular. I've never made a circular building before, so that's taking a bit of thinking about. And I've cut this template to size. This is the that's the size of the floor plan of the building, and I don't know whether to actually build a circular shell or maybe paste, find a former, some circular object that I can use as a former or a base, and then stick the corrugated iron on the side. I don't know what I'm going to do right now. I mean, Pringles tube, too small. This coil of wire, too small. My coffee mug, too small. It looks like I'm going to have to I don't make it somehow. So this needs some more thought, and we'll get back to you on that one in a while. So 1 hour, just over 1 hour into the build, and I've got a floor and a ceiling, and most importantly a door. So I think that I need to know where the door is going to be. So I have to build the door first. The door has to be built first so that I know where it is, and then I can put in all my supports all the way around. That's the plan. So I'm going to have to cut myself a lot of these to act as the supports for a 10,000 shell, 10,000 plasticard shell, which I will then apply the corrugated styrene to. I think that'll work. I think that'll give it some support and rigidity. That's the plan anyway, so we're going to go with that. A word about cutting multiple lengths of styrene strip, the same length. I'm using my Northwest Shortlines Chopper 2. I think this is the Chopper 2. I've had it such a long time I couldn't tell you. And it's one of the most useful pieces of tool in my in my armory of tools. And so what you get is a simple guillotine with a razor blade in there, which has a straight edge, and you have a couple of adjustable stops here that you can set for the distance, how long you want each piece to be. And now I'm going to cut these to like 53.5 millimeters long. So we just set these. I've also put a little stop in here to pull the cutting material away from the surface, because that end of the blade tends to get used the most, and it's a little bit blunt, whereas out here the blade is still pretty sharp. So get the most value for money out of a blade just by pulling the cutting surface away from the edge there. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to like pop the piece of styrene up against the stop and just nick it there, and then rotate it and nick it again and rotate it and nick it until you cut through. And what you will get is a square cut. And that's pretty important, because if you go through and if you just do that, go through straight away, you will notice that you get an angled cut. And an angled cut is not what you want. Multiple cuts, just multiple nicks, will increases the chance of having a flat cut across the surface of the strips. So that one is actually much flatter than the previous one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 down and another 24 to go. Oof. Well, chaps, guys, everybody, to use an old Lincolnshire phrase, I'm jiggered. I'm exhausted. I have cut and glued in place 28 supports at approximately 2 foot centres, so that I will be able to fix an outer shell like that, give it a bit of support and rigidity, and then I will stick the embossed styrene on the outside of that. And yeah, that was quite the task. I still don't know if this is actually really going to work, but the supports are in place, and most of them are quite well stuck in there, so it's looking like it's going fairly well. So next task, stick a thin wall of 10 thou on the outside. We'll see how that goes. So here's a handy technique all modelers should know, and that's bending styrene. As you know, the walls of my corrugated hut are circular, and the old styrene, of course, is flat, and there's a lot of springiness in the styrene as you're trying to bend it around the circular form of the wall. So I'm going to pre-bend this a little bit to make the job easier. Now, I've cut my piece of styrene to the right length, or what I hope is the right length. It's close to the right length. So what I'm going to do is basically I'm just going to like tape it to the kettle here, and switch the kettle on. The water will boil, this wall of the kettle will get hot, and it will soften the styrene, and then when the kettle boils, I'll plunge the styrene into some cold water, and then that'll help it take its new shape. So, as we say, a watched kettle never boils, so we shan't watch the kettle boil. I'll come back when the kettle is boiled. Boiling, getting close. Ooh, we're getting nice and hot on the outside of the kettle, so. Let it sit there for a little bit. And put that in the cold water and just let it sit there for a while. And then, I've now boiled the kettle. Let's have a cup of tea. Okay, let's see what has happened. And, oh, okay, that's a win. That is bent that is melted and softened and bent, so that will be able to be bent around the wall formers for the goods shed a lot easier than before. And softening your styrene is a handy thing to know how to do for all modelers. You're often going to need to have curved sections of styrene or curved handrails on buildings, for example, and as long as you're careful, because you're dealing with boiling water, so you can do this pretty easily. And the tighter that you bend the styrene, the more, and the thicker the styrene is, the more spring there is in it. So like when I taped that to the side of the kettle, if I'd have been taping it to something small at a tighter radius, then there would have been more spring in the plastic, so that I would have needed a stronger tape to fix it to the side of where I was bending against. So that's a handy thing to know. This is important. I guess this is a pretty important technique to have under your belt, bending styrene. So we will now take this back downstairs and we'll stick it in place on the building format, and we'll see if this idea of mine has actually worked. So I guess this is kind of like the moment of truth here on whether this will actually work or not. I've got this, got the basis set up on my magnetic square gluing table thing that I got from Micromark, and now we're just gonna like glue it in place and see if my idea works. Moment of truth from now on. Here we are. Well, colour me impressed. I didn't expect this to work quite as well as it has done. The circular base shell for the structure is completed. I mean, and it's round. We've got the door in the front and it's pretty darn solid. It's not moving at all. So this is just made from 0.75 millimeter base, 0.75 millimeter roof, and then 1 millimeter square supports, all glued together, and then you've got your door in the front there, which is basically a piece of 0.75 mil styrene, and then some of this. This is 0.5 mil embossed styrene wood V-groove, and some really thin materials, but it's all glued together and supported and braced and pretty good. Works pretty well, pretty impressed. So now we can carry on and clad the outside wall, I think. Oh, so hey, yeah, I just looked at the watch. It's like 20 to 5. I've been on this building project for started at 7 o'clock-ish, 7:30. So I've been on this for about the best part of 9 hours, and I have a rather superbly round building base. I mean, sturdy, definitely. Really impressed that worked as well as it did. And also starting to get the conic section of the roof sorted. So that will be the task for tomorrow, to get that properly developed and finished. So best part about today was that this set of antique drawing equipment saved my bacon, because I've been cutting the circular sections of this structure with this old plastic circular cutter that I've had for I don't know how long. It was easy to hand, it was cheap, it was easy to hand, and it works very, very well, except when you need to draw a circle larger than 150 millimeters, which I had to do. So I managed to, there is no blade section for these tools, so I managed to cobble together and work it out that I kept scoring the plasticard with a needle point, and the score turned into a scratch. And as I kept going around and around, the scratch got deeper and deeper. In the end, I could cut a large circle suitable for this conic section of the roof. So that'll be the project for tomorrow, to get that finished and get the ribs on there and put the vent on as well. And then this building will be as good as done. So we'll get on that tomorrow. So welcome back, everybody. It's day 2 of the goods shed builds. After 9 hours yesterday, we have the main structure, and I was starting to work on the conic section roof. Started off by dredging my memory for O-level engineering drawing techniques, and that was, to get the conic section, you had to like draw a circle of the right size and cut it out, and I have to then cut a section out of the circle so that it all folds up into the correct section. My gosh, it took me a long time to remember that and work out how to do it. Still put a little bit of the hole in the end there. Still needs a little bit of a fiddle, but so it was a flat piece of styrene, so I had to like heat bend this piece as well to get it to form to the proper sort of shape. And now what we're going to do is we're going to like fit it together, and I should then have a proper roof, and then I'll be able to add the ribbing to that, and we'll be good to go, and pop that on top there, and well, Bob's your uncle. There won't be much left to do to this structure afterwards, so it won't be a 9-hour day today. And here it is, finished. Well, finished to the extent that it's going to go into the paint shop to be primed and then painted, but feeling pretty pleased with myself because this does look the part. Once again, I've managed to create something that looks the part and was really easy to do. So for anybody thinking about scratch building is not that difficult. So I hope you picked something up from the videos, some insights into techniques, and hope you got something out of it. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and if you enjoy the channel, subscribe. And well, we will come back in a while when I've decided what I'm going to do next. So take care, happy modelling.